Well, welcome back to SAFC Live. It's been another great night for Sunderland at the Stadium of Light, and the home record this year, Danny, has been pretty impressive. Sunderland have come through against Leeds United, 1-0, and it was Job with the goal in the 77th minute.
Yeah.
Odd goal. Sunderland had to be very patient tonight. They had to play a different way tonight as well.
Yeah, they did, yeah. And, well, credit to Mike Dodds. We've mentioned it there at the weekend. Set us up in our normal shape, I'd say. Made 3 changes tonight, big call after the win, and changed the shape as well. Went to that 3-4-3 really, and yeah, come out on top, haven't we? Clean sheet, as mentioned, lads at the back, excellent defending, solid. Limited them to very little going forward. Little nervy one for Perot at the end there, wasn't it? When Trey cleared it off the line.
Oh, don't get me wrong, it was nervy from the moment Sunderland came back out from the second half, pretty much. But you know, ever since the goal, you're thinking the Leeds are going to come again, and they came in waves, didn't they? Yeah. They changed things and added players, and they kept on coming on both sides, and they had possession on the edge of our box, and you know, everyone was on the edge of their seat here, but they did their jobs brilliantly.
Well, they almost done to us in that last 10-15 minutes what we do to a lot of sides here at the Stadium Light, don't we? Pen them in and then obviously look on the counter-attack. But no, credit to the boys back there. I think it's something, you know, saying there earlier on where Mike Dodds and the coaching staff perhaps haven't had time to get back on the grass. Quick turnaround from the weekend, but they'll have been organising them in the meeting room, having a look at Leeds. How do they play? How do they set up? What they're all about? Pacing the team, but we nullified it. I thought we were excellent. Somerville, Nonto coming off the bench as well. Didn't get much out of them.
Perot was quite deep all night.
James, very quiet, wasn't he? Frustrated. Perot, hardly seen him apart from that effort late on. So no, excellent display, as he's mentioned, up against the team. I think they lost 3 before this evening, haven't they?
Yeah, away from home,
the form team. And that's that, 6 points out of 6. Fantastic night at the Stadium of Light. Good crowding again. And a great night for Mike Dodds.
Fantastic stuff. Just looking behind us, Luke O'Nine and I think it was Job were doing some interviews there for the national broadcasters over here. I mean, we can go through the side. Let's go through the action then we can talk about some of the key moments, because it was a very cagey one. You said at one point it's like a chess match.
Yeah, it was early on. Yeah, you can see how St. Leeds, how they want to set up. They want to try and dominate possession, almost entice you in and suck you in to come and press them, but we didn't do that. You can hear the crowd getting a little bit restless, but that's because they're used to seeing us do that to sides at the Stadium of Light. But tonight you've got to appreciate and respect who you're up against.
Yeah.
You know, a footballing team, they want you to do that so they can play through you. And we didn't bite. We didn't go and press them high up. We allowed Rodon to have it and Struijk to have the ball. And they weren't too sure. They gave us...
sorry, Danny, we'll get some possession stats up as we go through the programme. But Sunderland were quite happy for Leeds to have it on the halfway line, really, weren't they?
Yeah, and say, come on then, what have you got? Are you good enough to play through us and to pop it through us and create opportunities? And they didn't manage to do so.
And I can remember more saves from Meslier than I can from Anthony Patterson.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah. A couple obviously in the first half, the one off the header from Jensen Seelt, wasn't there? But yeah, no, I think in general, we shaded up until we got the goal, and then naturally it's just a natural reaction. And I can guarantee the fans are saying, oh, well, what happened to us? Why did we drop off? You know, the lads have put a lot into that game there. When you're not on the ball, you perhaps do a lot more than when you have the ball, because you're having to keep constantly moving side to side and stay organised and compact. And again, that's something they'll have talked about there, changing that shape there. Made it difficult for Leeds through the middle of the pitch and say, go on then, you can play around us, but you're not coming through the middle of us. And I thought we'd done that really well. And you can see Daniel Farker, he made the changes, top end of the pitch. He made 4 or 5 changes. He brought Somerville inside the pitch. Didn't really work for them too much. So yeah, it's a
that's the big one there from Seelt. He did all right tonight, didn't he? He came off.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah, I think he pulled up there, didn't he? Made that good challenge on the far side, stretching up against Somerville, wasn't it? And just feeling the back of his leg. So I think hopefully he's okay. He got up, didn't he? He played a few more minutes, but then he went off, and then obviously we had to change it again with Huggins and Hume over on that far side. Jack dropped in as a left wing back, and then Job obviously pushed on a little bit higher. But yeah, I mean, clear-cut chances in the game, not too many.
Nope.
Not really, not too many, especially for those, for Leeds. I can't think, you know, that Perot toe poke, wasn't it, where Trey cleared it off the line, I think. Other than that,
Job found himself with a free header there.
Yeah, he did.
Some of these highlights.
So he had that one chalked off at the weekend, which obviously should have stood. But he's got his back on the officials tonight, hasn't he, with that one there. Yeah, he'd be disappointed with that one when he sees it back. As I said, he's watched the flight of that all the way, I think, and just doesn't direct it on target. I thought Jack was good again tonight. Not too many clear-cut opportunities himself, but he almost enjoyed himself up against Gray, didn't he? And it'd be a good learning experience for Gray coming up against arguably the best winger in the league.
And he finished on a yellow card as well.
Yeah,
he was carrying that from very early, 27th minute he got his yellow card.
So perhaps didn't see as much of Jack driving at him in the second half, but obviously they had more possession than us, and Jack was doing the job at left wing back, you know, deeper down the field towards our goal, wasn't he? But it was a good one, you know, good game to watch. Maybe not as open as I thought it would be early on. It had spells in the games where it almost kicked into that. But that's not a bad thing, you know, especially when we get ourselves in front. We frustrated Leeds for a lot of that. This is a talking one. It was kicked off, didn't it, down below us in the technical area. And I think, you know, Luke's just got there before him. And look at Dan James straight away. Quick look at the referee. It's always a sign, isn't it, when you have a little nervy one. And well, I don't think he's got the ball.
Yeah, that angle looks like...
Yeah, here now. Can we see it from this one? Let's have a look. Yeah, I think he's caught him around his knee, hasn't he? Well, he hasn't got the ball. I think Luke O'Nien needs the ball, and I think Dan James has caught him. And just look at his reaction. Yeah, I think he's caught his left leg there. So it could have been given. And I think maybe that's what they've seen on the replays down below us. So, you know, it said it got a bit fiery, didn't it, in the technical area? A couple of yellow cards.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
But we had good spells as well. And then it was, you know, you look at the substitutions, he brought Patrick on that far side. Maybe he couldn't get into the game as much as he would have liked. Patrick, he always has moments, and he does get us up the pitch, but didn't have too many opportunities in the Leeds area, did he? This one was a little bit nervy on the counter, wasn't it, from our corner, where they break on us, and Jack just gets back and does enough at Somerville there. I think there was a moment, see Niles not sure whether to commit, and there I thought, oh no, we're in trouble here now, and it just has a little bit of a pull back at him, to be honest, and he stays on his feet, Somerville, doesn't he? Fancies to get the strike away, but straight into the arms of Anthony Patterson. Short corner, yeah, well worked. Leeds packed the box, not switched on to Dan Neal, and comes out to Patrick there, and they get the block in, and here's the goal now. We've worked it really well. See, we've played through 3 or 4 blue shirts.
Striding across the pitch with it. Huggins plays a part as
well. Huggins chops back. See, they've got 6 or 7 shirts back there, and then ball comes in, and do you know what? It's another assist, isn't it, from Alex Pritchard? Yeah. I don't think it's good reactions from him, and it's onto him, and he just pops it into that area, and then 1 or 2 appealing. But yeah, say Gray's gone back in there, hasn't he? With Job, and who's in there behind him as well? Jack Clark behind him as well. They have a little look to the lines, but clearly onside. He's 2 yards behind him, and it's good from Job. Good awareness as well. He doesn't panic.
Melius
Reads it well. Reads the bounce of the ball well, and just pokes it past the goalkeeper. He gets clattered, but he doesn't mind that.
Then it was all Leeds pretty much, wasn't it, for the last 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and this is that nervy one, isn't it? When it sort of cross comes in, it dies on Luke a little bit, doesn't deal with it, and then it pops up to Perot, who, as we mentioned, is quiet, and he just thinks he's toe poked it past Anthony Patterson, and then there's Shrey and Niall on the line behind him as well. Another look back there. So yeah, for all that possession they had in that last 10-15 minutes and made changes in the top end of the pitch, didn't really cut us open, did they? Didn't carve us open with a clear-cut opportunity. No. So I think he'd be delighted Mike Dodd's in there. Obviously, for the boys at the back, we haven't had enough clean sheets in recent weeks. Yeah. There's one there, a good one to have as well against a free-scoring Leeds team, isn't it? So yeah, 3 points in the bag, and that confidence comes back into the squad.
Let's have a look what you've been seeing around the world. A couple of hashtags have came in from you guys. Let's have a look. Wayne has been a judge. Give it a Dodsy till the end of the season, yes or yes?
So there's not a no on there, is there? Yeah, listen, that's up to...
I'll tell you what he wanted.
He wanted of course he would, yeah, why not?
This place jumping 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, well, let's look at it from his point of view, really, or from the board and their point of view as well. Obviously, there's names going to be linked, and obviously they're going to have a look at different managers and weigh things up. But he knows the players straight away. He's been here for a long time now, hasn't he?
He found a different way to win tonight.
Yeah. So he's shown that he can change things up if needed to. You know,
his substitutions have had an impact
of what's going on. Yeah. And what more can you do? Winning games of football, and we're not talking about some of the lesser teams who are struggling in the league. We're talking about 2 of the high flyers who are in the playoffs with us. So he's not done himself any harm at all, has he? So, listen, it's not up to us. We obviously know Dodsey when we chat to him down on the touchline. He comes over when he takes the warm-up. We have a little chat. I see him down at the training ground as well at times, and he's a good bloke. He's a good coach. I've seen sessions he's put on as well. So we'll have to wait and see. But all he can do is keep winning football matches and keep us in those playoffs.
Yep, let's have a look at another thought then. Just time for another one from Tasha. Why don't we use VAR? Sunderland clearly deserved a penalty after what happened to Luke. Well, Tasha, VAR is not in play in the Championship, but probably is a matter of time, I think.
Yeah, you'd think so, yeah. But, I mean, we can look at it. Let's have a look. If it was in play at the weekend, we'd probably have Job's goal would have stood.
Yep.
Dan Ballard possibly would have been sent off.
Yep. They could have had a penalty.
Luke's late on, yeah. I'm still swaying towards it possibly was, although you think it was a little bit soft, possibly. Things balance themselves out throughout the season. Of course, yeah, I think that one there, looking at it back,
yep.
You know, I don't think Dan James has got any of the ball. It looks like he's caught Luke on his left leg. Luke's won the ball's gone that way towards their goal. I think the linesman's on that far side as well.
Yeah,
could have helped the ref out, possibly, yeah. So, yeah, I think they got away with one there, Leeds. Other incident, I don't think there was too many others in the game, was there? So,
no. Shall we have a look at the other scores, if
yeah.
we can, from in and around the Championship? They should all be finished by now because we were kicking off later. Blackburn Rovers won against Bristol City. That's where we're going on the weekend. 2-1 to Blackburn Rovers. Huddersfield Town 1. Preston North End 3. Rotherham United 0. West Bromwich Albion 2. Stoke City, of course, they're managerless at the moment. They are held at home to a 1-1 draw with Swansea City. And Watford, they were beaten at home by the mighty Ipswich Town, who continue their march.
Yeah, Tractor Boys ploughing on, aren't they?
Certainly are.
Yeah,
nice
and
one.
obviously West Brom as well, so we stay in 6, I think, don't we? I think we'll see the table now.
Let's have a look. Yeah, played 21 on 33 points. Keeping in touch with West Brom, though, because they won as well. Southampton on 38, they're playing later this week. Just looking downwards as well. It gives a little bit of a breathing space above Middlesbrough in 12th, doesn't it, that win?
Yeah, I think you're just looking at, obviously, West Brom won, ourselves, Preston, and I think Blackburn as well, didn't they? So, sort of teams in that pack winning there. All we can keep on doing is putting pressure on teams, well, above us, obviously. There's a little gap, wasn't there, up until to Leeds there. But, yeah, we're in amongst it in a good position.
OK, then. I think that's it for this evening here at the Stadium of Light. We're next in action on Saturday. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff. Remember them? 3 o'clock kickoff down at Ashton Gate, which means myself and Danny will be in the studio. I'd imagine Quinn's Bar, maybe, or maybe it is Quinn's Bar. Yes, I've just been told in my ear.
2:15.
Yeah, we'll be on air from 2:15, as Danny just said. So join us for that. You can go to sfc.com right now to get your streaming passes. In the meantime, go to sfcstore.com as well. Get all that new gear which they've released for Christmas. The Avec Retro range. And other than that, there's nothing else to say apart from it's been another good night for Sunderland under Mike Dodds. We'll see you soon.